Phosphor Dot fans, Earl at thelogbook.com back here with another unburied Atari 2600 treasure that was designed and programmed back in the day, back when the system was still being sold, but was never released for a variety of reasons. And as you might guess, there is a story behind this one. This is the pursuit of the Pink Panther, and it is kind of a holy grail for a lot of Atari collectors because we never thought we'd get to play it. I'm not really a collector anymore. I'm more of just an appreciator because I don't have that much room for gobs and gobs of cartridges sitting around. The story behind the pursuit of the Pink Panther is pretty simple. This was going to be the flagship title for a label, if you will, of North American Philips. North American Philips was better known for producing the Odyssey 2 video game, which I cover on a completely different series of videos called Select Game. The Odyssey 2, however, was starting to look like yesterday's news in 1983, seeing as it had been released in the late 70s. And so North American Philips was starting to hedge its bets by producing software for other machines. Only one of these games ever actually came out, a nuclear war simulator for the ColecoVision called War Room. A port of Power Lords, which would have added a lot more visual detail as well as entire new parts of the game for the ColecoVision, was nearly finished, but never released. And then there was the pursuit of the Pink Panther. This was really supposed to be the first Probe 2000 game to come out, and it was supposed to arrive simultaneously on the Atari 2600, the Odyssey 2, and I've learned since this was released, the ColecoVision. A ColecoVision version does exist in prototype form. It's very much a work in progress, and I'm told it'll take quite a bit of work before it is ready to be played, before it's actually much of a game. The Atari 2600 version was basically finished. The Odyssey 2 version, nobody really seems to know, although the sources I have who were within the Odyssey game group at Knoxville at the time indicate that the Pink Panther did not get very far into development on the Odyssey 2 before the plug was pulled. Now let's talk about why the plug was pulled. Here you have Inspector Clouseau taking off with the diamond, and you are the Pink Panther. Try not to fall in the water. Cats don't like water. Okay, what's he doing way over there? Inspector Clouseau, for whatever reason, drops building materials on top of you. Oh, too far away. Which you have to grab. Oh. And that will allow you to finish the walkway at the bottom of the screen. If he throws a piece and you miss it, and there is actually something there, well, he's just made your job harder, as he keeps doing for me. Yeah, that's not helping, Shock. Not helping at all. You don't know Shock. Okay. So you can jump. You can try your luck jumping short hops over small gaps over the water. Anything bigger than that, not recommended. You're going to wind up sinking in up to your eyeballs. Eventually the goal, it's kind of like Satan's Hollow. You're trying to build a bridge across the bottom of the screen to reach the second level of the game. And I ran out of time. It's never happened to me before on this screen. Alright, Clouseau. Obviously this has a lot more to do with the cartoon series than with the movies. Although there is, in the second level, which hopefully I'll be able to show you, hopefully I'll survive long enough to get to it, there is a Pink Panther does whip out a stick of dynamite and light it, which always puts me in mind of my favorite exchange from the Pink Panther movies, where, Peter Sellers' French accent, if you will. It becomes part of what he's making fun of, as well as the entire genre. He's learned that there is a bomb, and he's so... Alright. Alright. Oh, a bit? No, a ban. Alright, there he is, and I just did the punchline. You have to go stand in a doorway and press a button. I guess to take the elevator up, pressing the wrong button will call forth a variety of threats, which I really, luckily, managed not to do. And then we get to the third and final screen, which owes maybe just a little bit to Pitfall. Maybe. You have to make sure that you're not standing on the moving platform when the water rises over it. The Pink Panther does not like water. Oh! Case in point. You have to position yourself under the swinging rope. Press the button. Grab the diamond. There, I won the game. I'm a happy cat. But what's this? Crusoe, you killjoy. Now I have to go steal the diamond all over again. Was it ever thus? Only now he moves a lot faster. A lot faster. If he drops the brick into water and there's no platform, it doesn't delete part of the platform that is there. It just disappears into the water. But he doesn't, yeah, like that one. Boop. There it goes. The graphics and sound and music on this are actually pretty nice. This is, I don't know if I'd call it a top-shelf 2600 game, but it's better than a lot of the shovelware that was coming out in '83. Oh, the critter. I hate that critter. Okay, so it wasn't that door. No, I should have just stayed where I was. Oh! You can jump over this guy, but I hate him. I hate the little green critter. It's probably something that a lot of people said every time they saw me. Anyway, the story of the game goes that it was reasonably finished. As you can see, you know, it's a complete game. There are 3 levels, there is a goal, you reach the goal, the game starts over. It's not the only video game that has ever operated in that manner, and so I would say this was probably ready to go. Maybe some minor playtesting and tweaks remained on the schedule, but probably not, because there was a company from Indianapolis contracted to fabricate the chips. Now, part of the reason that the game looks and plays and sounds as nice as it does is that it was using a method of program storage called bank switching, which stored the program, you know, basically in 2 distinct halves in different parts of the ROM chip inside the cartridge. Yeah, and by the way, if he knocks a hole in it way back there, the next brick you grab is going to fix that hole first, instead of building it in front of him. So it's a little bit of Kaboom DNA here. It's kind of fun. The aforementioned company from Indianapolis, who shall remain unnamed because I don't know who it was, was contracted to do chips that would accommodate there. Close one. Hate that thing. Special chips had to be made to accommodate the bank switching nature of the program. You should have just stayed at that left door and gone straight up. The only problem is that when the chips were fabricated... Oh, no. Pink, no. No, no, no. It got me. When the chips were fabricated, they failed. This according to an interview with Bob Harris, who wrote the Odyssey 2 game Killer Bees, and was basically in the room in Knoxville when the Probe 2000 story, I don't know how you'd want to put it, happened, failed to happen, happened very quickly and then ended. Oh, I have a feeling that was a mistake on my part. Sorry, Pink. But, as luck would have it, or really bad luck, just about the only kind North American Philips ever had in the video game industry, the chips failed. The design that was intended to make it easier to do a bank switch game did anything but. It just didn't work. And so, thus ends the tale of the Pink Panther. For quite a while. In the 90s, it became known that there was a private collector who had a copy of the prototype, and he was not letting it out of his hands. He was not letting anyone dump and release the ROM. You know, not gonna demonize this person for that decision, which may well have been made before emulation was a common thing. And I just got hit by a pie. That was interesting. And what's behind door number 3? That guy. That guy's behind door number 3. Okay, so the key is to just stay put. Oh, good. I was afraid if I got up to the 3rd level and hit the wrong button, I was going to summon Cthulhu or something. Anyway, with North American Philips having sunk so much money into this bank switching chip design, it was supposed to be custom made just for them, and then the thing tanked. They basically called it quits. Got out of the business. That was it. Sad kitty. And now suddenly Inspector Clouseau is on speed. Rock out with your shock out. Whatever works for you, dude. You still will not defeat me. So that was it for Probe 2000. That was it for the Odyssey 2. That was the sound of North American Philips, which had previously entered the video game business under the Magnavox banner. That was it for them. The Odyssey 3 had already fallen through, and by the way, there is a whole podcast about that at thelogbook.com/select-game. Look for the episode called Who Killed the Odyssey 2? It was that guy. It was that little green guy. That's who killed the Odyssey 3. Sorry. Oh no, Ben. I still haven't explained that joke yet. I forget which of the Pink Panther movies it is. Where Clouseau just gets tongue-tied because there's a bomb, and he's just and, you know, someone is looking at him and like, a ba? He's, no, a bem, because he's doing his outrageous French accent. So, there you go. Weird little in-joke finally explained. The pursuit of the Pink Panther finally explained. While the game was in the hands of a private collector for the longest time, either that prototype or a second prototype surfaced at a later date, and it has now been dumped for everyone to enjoy. And it's quite a fun game. I think this might have actually made a minor splash had it been released, you know, in some alternate universe where the ROM didn't fail, where the chips were not a failure. But as was often the case with North American Philips, the chips were down. And thus ends the story of the pursuit of the Pink Panther. That pursuit is now over. You can play it for yourself. I'll make sure to include a link to the forum post at AtariAge.com, where the game has been revealed, and you can finally play it. So this has kind of been like the Christmas '83 that never happened. In the space of 1 month, not only did the pursuit of the Pink Panther finally see release, but so did the never-released Kickman for the Atari 2600. So, not bad at all. Christmas '83 arriving just a little bit late. Thanks for watching.